All right, folks, we got a fresh haircut, and the premise of today's video is simple. There's 2 million up top in the DraftKings best ball main tournament. There's 2 million up top in the Underdog NFL best ball main tournament. We're going to draft a team in both. We're going to try to win both. We've won tournaments with teams we've streamed/recorded in the past, put a team in the finals last year from a team I streamed in Best Ball Mania. So we're kicking it off on DraftKings. Of course, DraftKings more of the wild, wild west. So we're just jumping into it. We got the 105. Let me fix the zoom for you folks. Make it a little bit more close there. Maybe we can resize this window too. Try to eat up more of the dead space. Hope everyone's doing wonderful on this Friday afternoon. Be sure to like and subscribe. Helps me out. Let's draft the winner today. Let's do it. I hope you don't win. Hope you don't win. Hater. What's up? Good morning, I guess. Not for me, but let's see. Let's hope we got a wild lobby. Of course, DraftKings, more of a wild, I guess the technical term would be a higher variance drafting environment. So what that means is you would think, hey, people are doing wild things. It's easier for me to win money in this contest. Well, it might be easier for you to advance if people are doing wild things, but actually you'd kind of prefer a stable drafting environment because you can't really, if it requires being in a lobby with a bunch of fools, that's not something you can control for. We're starting it off strong with CD Lamb at the 105. Of course, running backs tend to go higher on DraftKings. Quarterbacks tend to go higher on DraftKings. We're getting Ginty at the 7. Gibbs was the 105 by ADP. I just chose Lamb. Let's try to fix my mic setup. You guys let me know if you're not hearing me the best. John Allen saying today's a good day to draft. Josh Allen. Thank you, sir. Got the fresh cut. Of course, it's hot where I live in Florida. Can barely be outside, so got to get some shorter hair. Yeah, wide receivers tend to fall on DraftKings. Of course, it depends on your lobby. Let's get it. Donnie. Some guy just ripped Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor, and Caleb Williams in the first 3 rounds of a puppy. Yeah, I mean, collusion checks are done. I don't know if that by itself will get something banned. Could someone enter a lobby and be like, look, I want Anthony Richardson and Caleb Williams? Yeah, I could see that. It's not quite the same thing as drafting Darius Slayton, Andre Yoshivas in the first 2 rounds. So, depends. Yeah, it's really just, come playoff time, you're going to need a super team because there's going to be plenty of teams out there. Yeah. Haven't done as many in the DK Millie. I'd planned to do more, just didn't get to it. This is my 11th team. So historically, I do more of my DK Millies later in the year. I guess we call it the DK2 Millie? Doesn't roll off the tongue as much. Underdog and DraftKings both paying $2 million up top. Pretty normal draft. Obviously, Derrick Henry is a worse pick on DraftKings. All else equal. Doesn't catch passes. It's a PPR site. The DK double milli. It's kind of like a burger order. You guys get what I'm saying there. Let's see. Puka, London, everything's normal so far. So, I would guess / predict that, of course, drafting later at night can be an advantage sometimes because people are drunk, people are whatever. On DraftKings, that's probably especially so. You get the Chads and Brads in the frat house ripping a team, falling asleep, plus EV. You get people being like, bro, we got to get Joe Burrow, plus EV. So the running backs are going. If I was worried about it, I would do Bucky, but we're not. We're going to slam a grown man in their face, A.J. Brown. Just a shame we never got to see A.J. Brown with, a Joe Burrow, a Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Justin Herbert. Can you imagine A.J. Brown with Justin Herbert? My God. But the Bills are going to be a good team, but I don't think they have any corner that can match up one-on-one with A.J. Brown per se, just because really no corner can do that. People have been asking. People have been asking. JT Best Ball saying, I draft mostly at nights on there. It's fun, and it does get wild. Andrew saying, yeah, but I am also that guy. Fair, Andrew. We've all been there. So, yeah, just a pretty normal lobby. We'll see how, again, I've not done as high a volume of drafts here. I definitely, if I was trying to grind my max EV here, I'd be toggling between the ranks and the ADP. You can see the quarterbacks go pretty high here. Let's see. Josh Allen's gone. Josh Allen pairing with A.J. Brown, that would have been fun just for the Week 17 stack. Rice and Tyreek, they both have their risks. They both have major upside. Let's do Tyreek today. Let's get the band back together as far as former first-round picks. John is devastated. We might have done it, John. We might have done Josh. Getting an elite quarterback is not as good on DraftKings because quarterbacks contribute less of a percentage to your overall score on a PPR site just because the skill players score more points, right? When a wide receiver goes 10 catches for 100 yards, let's just ignore the bonuses. That is a thing. But that would be 20 points on DraftKings. That's 15 points on Underdog where it's half-point PPR. However, getting the elite quarterback on DraftKings actually sometimes is even better just because of how quarterback hungry the drafts can be. You do get the 300-yard bonuses, yes, but that's not enough to wipe out the PPR element. When would you say is the best time to draft this contest as opposed to BBM? It's the same exact thing as BPM. There's reasons to draft early in the season. There's reasons to draft late in the season. You could say that DraftKings, even just because it's a bigger platform, will have even more casual drafters. So that's kind of why I've saved more of my DraftKings bullets for later in the year with that mindset. But yeah, I really the time of night, and really it's like, it's like whenever it's convenient for you. The $4 million haircut. Man, how electric would it be just to you win both contests? If I get the 5, if I can get CD Lamb in the next draft on Underdog, I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to do Lamb, AJ Brown, Tyreek. Thank you, sir. Best time to be drafting is right now. The next best time to be drafting, it's the next time you do it. Jokes. Mike Evans falling a little bit. A little surprised DraftKings is willing to do that. It's still bedhead, dude. It's still bedhead, but it's just short. Great minds there, Joseph. All right, so the running backs are kind of gone unless I want to rip Joe Mixon in their face, but Travis Hunter, let's do it. Different buy coverages. I do think the zero RB thing gonna be rarer this year just because of how bad it performed for people last year and all the talks about the running back. So when they zag, as you can see in this lobby, I'm the only drafter to start with 4 wide receivers. I did a BBM this morning. Someone got Joe Burrow, pick 72. The T. Higgins drafter just let him have it. My God, lucky guy. I wouldn't say he got sniped because the T. Higgins drafter drafted Joe Burrow. Like that's just, am I sniped on Jordan Love if I have Jaden Reed and the Matthew Golden drafter takes him? No, of course not. The haircut seems minus EV. Why is that? Sure. Hurts. I mean, if I was concerned about the running back, I would do Chuba there. But Hurts with AJ Brown, 5th round Hurts. Let's get it. Hurts might go up in price with the tush push not banned. DK rounds 9 to 15 feel very nice this year in terms of being sharper than others. You think the DraftKings lobby sharper? We'll see. I mean, I would, in general, I want to be getting running backs in the DK lobbies just because I know the wide receivers are going to be cheaper. Like, let's just look at some wide receivers by ADP here. Trey Harris, about 15 picks cheaper on DraftKings. Darnell Mooney, about 20 picks cheaper on DraftKings. Luther Burden, about 20 picks cheaper on DraftKings. Brandon Ayuk and Jaden Reed. My God, this Jaden Reed ADP is egregious. I will have 100% at pick 91. But 20 picks cheaper for Reed. 10 picks cheaper for Ayuk about. Shaheed, 20 picks cheaper on DraftKings. Kyle Williams is cheaper. Hollywood's cheaper. So, yeah, I mean, in general, give me some running backs and I'll load up on these guys. But sometimes you simply need AJ Brown, CD Lamb, Tyreek Hill to win, It's not just about what advances. I would say it's probably easier to advance getting some running backs and hitting those wideouts. But Travis Hunter, AJ Brown, Lamb, they hit their ceiling at the right time. Boom, baby. I mean, this is a bad example by you, Henry. Those guys are free on Underdog. So they can't be cheaper on DraftKings when they're not even close to 100% drafted on Underdog. We're getting varying opinions on the haircut. Dan, no reasons given, just says it's bad. It's bad to have the haircut. Alberto, with some science, says it means serious business. 24 hours a day, 8 days a week. Not 7, baby, 8. You folks like these streams, be sure to like and subscribe. We're on the road to 6,700. I need 80 of you to click that subscribe button. Please, God. Laporta goes 20 picks more expensive on DraftKings. All right, what's the running back? Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like doing that. Let's do Godwin. Godwin versus Tyreek, 30 points each, week 17. I could see it. Are you avoiding any players due to week 17 matchups? Definitely, like, I wouldn't say full avoiding some players, but yeah, like, you feel worse about some guys. But, it's sometimes it's like, this is why it's okay to look at the whole schedule of week 17. James Cook, for example, plays the Patriots, plays the Browns, then plays the Eagles. On paper, you would say the Eagles matchup probably a little bit worse, right? Than we would want. But not that he can't score well in that game. He could be thrown passes. But the Patriots and Browns, like those could be spots where Cook goes off and is a reason you're getting to the finals. So, I'm generally a week 17 guy, but I remember doing that last year too, with being like, well, maybe these are the guys who get me there. Aaron Jones definitely would have fit our squad, I would say. I mean, it's 20 round guys. We're going to be taking like 10 running backs here. So conceivably, I could stop with this group of 5 if I was really dedicated to it. I'm not going to stop at 5 because there's no need. Shakir goes. I would have considered him. Pollard gets the Saints. Not a bad matchup. I mean, are we actually going to get fine? We'll do Pollard and we'll see. We'll just do a test here. We'll see if Jaden Reed makes it back. Sometimes I want to just be click and read there, even though he's available a full round later, just for the unique combo aspect. And like, that's where I think his fair value is. I don't think Pollard's like the best click in these rounds. I think there's quite a risk Spears plays more, but the offense should be better. So don't even know what some dude cut it up. I mean, our home best ball league's a thing. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm not going to make content for like 5 people. I don't think home best ball leagues are popular at all. Maybe you're talking about cash games. Much better cut than last time. Yeah, my girlfriend would agree. I got a bad haircut last time. I just went to some rinky-dink place. Jingo, there's always someone in the chat like this, so I like these questions. Why Hunter over JMO? Why Reed over a guy like Ayuk? And the answer is nothing you see me do is a 100%, right? Would I sometimes consider JMO over Hunter? Yeah. Would I sometimes do Ayuk over Reed? Yeah. And I don't know if you saw here, I didn't draft Ayuk. I'm kind of hoping one of Ayuk, Golden Reed makes it back to me. But I do like those players as well, if that's what you're trying to get at. I think you meant how come, not why come. Do you never do a stream with Mason? I think I reached out to Mason a couple years ago, seeing if you want to do a stream together. It didn't work. I don't really need anyone to stream, in short. Would I be down to do a stream with Mason? Sure. But, we're all busy. We're all busy folks here, Randall. Okay. I'm tempted for like Hawk or Jonnu, but let's just do Brian Robinson. It's an ADP value on DraftKings. Gives us two running backs who, on paper, are starters. We have a strong wide receiver room. We can go for depth from there. Is it a good strat to stack backfield since it's 20 rounds? Well, Master Yoda, we're just going to call you. The 20 round, the extra 2 rounds should not wildly change what you're doing. Do I think handcuffing backfields is fine to do on either site? Yes. It's not something where I would do it on DraftKings, but not Underdog. Yeah, I think this is normal for people who don't draft as much, maybe, right? You got to vary your builds and players, right? You see a very low percentage of my total drafts. How would I draft differently if I only entered 4 teams? I mean, AJ, I would make sure to get my guys. If I was a fan of the Chiefs, you better be sure I would have Patrick Mahomes on at least one of those teams. And some of my, if I love Saquon Barkley, I would make sure I got Saquon on one of those teams, right? So in general, the lower volume of teams, I would want to get guys I have high conviction on. I would want to have players I have rooting interest for. I would want to have players who like I remember the year BBM2, which I won, being like, man, I would be sick if someone had Josh Allen and they won the contest and it wasn't me. Now, I happen to have Josh Allen and won the contest there, but that was a thought that went in my head, like you'd be like, if you were really into a guy last year and they burned you, would you be sick if they smashed and you had none? I think that's okay. Warren definitely would have fit the squad. I think Mooney's just a nice value here. The Moon Man. Let's look at Mooney's game log, something you can do on DraftKings. So we'll ignore the end of the year. I mean, he did have a good game with Penix here. 142, 88, 86, 105, 88. Had some good games. Gets the Rams week 17. Pretty nice matchup. Chad, no. A lot of people try to ask these questions like relation to chess exactly. But no, I don't do that. Okay, Dan, you're on best ball leagues on Sleeper. Well, I mean, for cash game best ball, think about what's most scarce. Elite quarterback, maybe that's scarce. Elite tight end, maybe that's scarce. Think about scarcity, try to hoard the scarcity. Yeah, I mix and match my stacks. Like Brian Robinson and Eckler seems fine. Both are cheap. Jalen Warren and Caleb Johnson, both are somewhat expensive, but like doable. Aaron Jones and Mason, kind of an expensive price tag. Judkins and Jerome Ford or Sampson, whatever your prerogative is there, seems fine. Let's go. Reflect the sun. You're recovering. Tyler Warren, Wishcaster had to stop drafting. I mean, I'm not really into Tyler Warren, especially at pick 103. But first round talent, like he's definitely a dynasty winner, right? And there could be, like, I can see paths where the Colts are just like running like, I don't know, 8 screens to him a game, just like check down to him, screen blocking and stuff like that. I think you keep on drafting him. I wouldn't stress ADP too much or exposures too much at this time of the year because, you might be telling yourself, wow, I keep on drafting this guy. That guy's price might go up later in the summer. I think I was relatively flat last year. Like my highest owned player was 30%. I definitely have more than that right now, but your exposures are going to be a higher number when you have a lower volume of teams, right? And there's time for those exposures to flatten out. I have 2 tickets into EPL. You're gonna have to tell me what EPL is. Is this like European Soccer League or something? Yeah, this Charbonnet, definitely the more prudent pick for our team, needing running backs. I mean, Charbonnet, probably a little bit better pick on DraftKings. Mason, probably a little bit better pick on Underdog, right? Charbonnet catches more passes. Soccer. Okay, yeah. So you have 2 tickets into the Soccer King of the Pitch. 200 people, 150K to first. First off, congrats, bro. Would you do one chalk, one contrarian, or just go for it with both? So, I mean, I don't know anything about soccer, my friend. But yeah, I mean, what you're saying makes sense to me. One chalk, one contrarian. I would probably want like a contrarian piece. Like if there's a contrarian piece you have conviction on, I might just put it on both lineups and be like, this is my guy. Like, how clean do you want your sweats to be, basically? And I don't really know like the variance of soccer scoring, but yeah, I don't know, man. I can't really answer this for you. You guys search your heart. It also depends, like, what does 40th pay? What does 30th play? What does 20th pay? Because if it's chalk and 30th does not pay well, then you're very incentivized to try to win, right? If 30th, if the payout's pretty flat, where 30th pays, $40,000, then that's a different thing. Wow. I mean, yeah, I think the Luther Burden ADP is kind of crazy on Underdog. We're going to take one of these guys. We did Shaheed for the Tony Pollard Shaheed bringback. Luther Burden has a soft tissue injury. Probably not going to be a problem, but could get the summer. This is a variance question and a personal question. Is 55 Best Ball Manias right now too many? I'm around that number. Very top heavy, so I'm going all out. Yeah, the more top heavy it is, the more incentivized you are to try to play for first. Can George Kittle rise? Not really. Like, the reason why he's priced where he is because he's old. So like in general, these older guys, like, except for like Tyreek. Like Tyreek is like the one guy who can kind of rise if, I don't know, if he's getting like glowing reports in August where it's like Tyreek is unstoppable. Okay, sure, he could go into the second round, but like the reason why Kittle's ranked where he is for systemic reasons. Rough plan for me, 50 in May, 50 August plus, 50 throughout the summer. Thoughts of Xavier Restrepo? I'm not too interested in undrafted guys. Especially this time of the year. Sounds like a strong chance of a 0. I didn't have a 1 quarterback build. Justin Fields just didn't play. So it wasn't effective on quarterback. Any players you swore off last year but are back for more this year? I got to think about that, Bryson. I'm sure there are. I mean, there's some players I wasn't drafting last year and I was just like wrong about. Wow, Eckler picked 133. Interesting. Dak goes, okay, so he did draft Pickens. So this guy showed an ability to stack. The Thielen Eckler guy definitely has a type. and it's Derrick Henry. You know, got to correlate your olds. I don't think CMC going up would be related to that. Yeah, I mean, Tank went in the 3rd round. So maybe you could compare him to the other dude who got drafted by them, Alec Minor. But comparing him to a straight up undrafted player is like not the same. All right, I think we're going to get our week 17 correlation here and just snap Kincaid, especially because this guy has shown the Josh Allen drafter went Josh, Shakir, Keon. So clearly he's trying to heavily correlate Josh. We needed a tight end. So we like it. And honestly, for like punting off running back, I don't feel like I'm getting zero. You know, if I'm getting 10 points from both my running back spots a week, like that could be enough with this wide receiver firepower. Like, let's just pretend 25 points from Hurts. Let's assume 20 each from my 3 wide receiver spots and flex. So 80 plus 25, that's 105, plus 20, that's 125. Call it 10 points from tight end. That's 135 points plus some variance there. Seems like a good basis. I've drafted some Jermaine Burton. I have a lot of Yoshi Boss. But yes, I have drafted some Jermaine Burton. He's talented. Goddard goes. He would have made a lot of sense. Ferg goes. He made sense too. I might lower Kyle Pitts, man. He's garbage. All right, so Ray is more of the stack. I think Rendo's better pure upside. Let's play the ADP here. Ray is cheaper on DraftKings by a bit. We're running low on quarterbacks. If there's a starter left, we're going to go for it. If not, we're going to punt it off and take like dart late. Fresh Cut Friday, baby. The barber asked me what I did for work. I said I did a lot of things. And then I told him I'm a chess teacher. I typically don't tell people I stream fantasy football, you know. It's just a weird combo to have. Thoughts on having 50% CMC and 0% GT? Sounds like you're taking a stand. Which is okay. I would say GT's week 17 matchup, pretty enticing. Gets the Giants. Say you're in bed with Vegas. First off, fire profile picture, Raphael. What do you do for work? I'm in bed with Vegas. I mean, this is what I pretty much say is just make me look good. I think the Wicks thing is more recent, you know? Well, this is different because the guy saw his setup. So if someone sees your setup in your house, then it's like, oh yeah, I do this, right? Due to best ball being so high variance, how can you even tell if your process or takes are good ones? Do you have to just compare your overall success rate to the mean? It's a great question, Collinsworth. Yeah, like I would argue a 1-year sample is not enough, right? Where some years I have played risky, which probably we should be doing in a top heavy game, right? Last year, I don't think I was as risky. My exposures were more spread out, but like It's a little bit of a feeling, Collinsworth. Obviously, a multi-year sample, if you've got like bad success as far as either advancing teams or getting some teams to the finals, okay, maybe you could like write down on a piece of paper, like, these are the guys I think are going to have good week 17 games and I should be drafting to win money, and like see how you do year after year there. Um, you can also learn things year to year where maybe you had a bad, and like, also like just because you played well one year, maybe you could play bad another year. Like a lot of people, I see this a lot. Someone wins a puppy or wins a schnauzer. They think they're the hottest shit in the world. They think they're the best drafter in the world. I think we can all think of folks like this. They come into the streams. They're like, I'm the best. I mean, I saw this even mid-year. People were tagging me being like, I'm out advancing you. I'm the best ball guy. Obviously these people were clowns, but it's a great question. I don't have like a clean answer for you. So, okay, quarterback is done. We did it to ourselves, is what it is. What are we going to do about it? I don't think we should draft 8 wide receivers. Let's just get a tight end on this team. We're going to draft like Dart or something. I think we ran a little bit bad. Neither Richardson or Darnold made it. Maybe we'll draft Daniel Jones. Absolutely. I don't know. I don't know what's more likely to make it back. I want a third tight end. This guy's on auto draft with only Baker, so I'm at least better than him at quarterback. I mean, in theory, Hurts is enough at quarterback, right? I might take like Dart and Daniel Jones. I might take having Freiermuth is nice because I can take Rodgers. My running back room is not terrible, but I need more guys. I probably should just stop taking wide receivers with as much capital I have invested there. I have 5 more picks, so at least 3 more are going to be running backs. And then the real question is, do I take 1 or 2 more quarterbacks? Yeah, I mean, stacking is not lack of uniqueness. Do you update your rankings often? I mean, it depends. I had been doing it weekly. I didn't update it this week because there's no actionable news and I've not really changed feelings that much on players. Is there any way to have rankings visible while drafting mobile? Yeah, what you got to do is you got to upload the rankings to the site, which I detail on the rankings page, and then the rankings will just be in the app while you draft. I mean, if your take is everyone is stacking, so I should not, and that will help me win, I think that's a bad take, right? Like stacking helps you hit, like just think of this stuff like logically. Like what's going to help you hit a high weekly point? Is it uncorrelated or is it stacking? Now, a pure nutted ceiling might be uncorrelated, but you can't predict that. That's just like clicking, throwing down ping pong balls. You want to correlate to give yourself an easier time of hitting a high score. What's a good advance rate in your opinion? I mean, being roughly even with the field is fine. It depends what you're doing. Like, I don't draft to advance most years. I would draft differently if I was just trying to advance. I draft to win. And people hate to hear that because it breaks their brains. They're like, "No, you're lying. You're just bad at advancing." Like, obviously if I was drafting to advance, I would make sure to get a running back early in the draft. That would be drafting to advance. This team is not drafted to advance because I didn't draft a running back. I'm definitely hoping that Garendo, hopefully you could be a league winner. Hopefully Wright can be a league winner. In the years where it's Benson or Braylon Allen or Rico or Hunt or Bigsby or Algier, okay, this lineup loses. So drafting like 0 running back teams is an example of drafting to win and probably not to advance. Not that you can draft to advance and win. Like, obviously a robust running back lineup can win too. I love this community. I mean, sustained success is a big one, right? Like, I can tell you, the year after I won BBM2, people were calling me a shot in the pan. Then I won directly the next year 2 high stakes contests on DraftKings. So people were still calling me. Some people still don't want to give me flowers there. Okay, so if we can get Slayton on the wrap, I want to go Dart. Maybe let's just grab Dart. Grab Dart, figure it out later. It's not as needed, but I still do stack in 12-team isolated. You say this now, Mikulek, and it sounds obvious, playing to advance, but I promise you, the mental strength you need from the September to December is big because there's going to be people, especially if you're on any types of social media, there'll be people in my streams being like, you're advancing 20 teams, you're advancing 10 teams, you're advancing 15 teams. I'm advancing 40. I'm advancing 60. I'm a genius. You suck. Blah, blah, blah. Like, that happened a lot last year. There's no upside for Herzig's contest. 0. There's $0 at stake. Davis is a hater then. Hey, man, we would all rather be lucky than good. Why am I low on Scatterbo? Went later in the draft than expected. Probably plays for a bad team. Possibly not the starter at all. So, like, he's a guy who I would, like, mix in, but I don't even know what you're winning when you win. Like, he's a guy that I need a positive report that, like, oh, he's clearly the one over Tracy. Yeah, I'm a bad pick in a vacuum, but hey, sometimes the chalk wins, baby. It's chalkier. Okay, we don't need another wide receiver, but why not? Why not get the stack, folks? Dart to Slayton for all the money. Rodgers goes. So we don't even have to worry about the third quarterback. We're just going to tuck in 2 more running backs. Yeah, I definitely think having a poker background helps. I do as well. I mean, Ireland at a time like now, first off, great name. Rookie report, like there's not too much actionable reporting on rookies. So it's all a little bit of guesstimation. Obviously, I've been playing best ball for a long time. So draft capital is still a strong guideline and what we should be basing it off of. But no, I don't really care what they did in college. Liam is the Derrick Henry of the Herzig contest. Lots of streaming miles, collisions with people in chat. I'm fading. Going with the younger streamer with unknown upside. Man, you know, some years these people they lose year after year fading the Henry. They lose year after year. Got a real haircut, man. All right. We need some running backs on the squad. Kendre's cut. Yeah, let's do Kendre. Kendre, you know, like here's an example of a player not even close to being 100% drafted. His Devin Neal is drafted. So I'm just taking a stance right now that, hey, it's Kendre. It's not Devin Neal. I have the week 17 correlation for him. You know, we got this mini Titans Saints thing going on. Shaheed, Pollard, Kendre, former third round pick. He's the type of guy I want to be drafting versus like 100% drafted Devin Neal. I could be wrong. It could be Devin Neal. There's time later in the year to fix that, you know? Two, dude. I was born on the 2nd. Yeah, like this is what the market's doing right now. And I'm going to have an article written up for sure by next week just on the late round in general. Just like let me just spell out as clearly as possible what's happening right now in the late rounds and how, like, I do not want to just draft off of my ranks in the late rounds, especially round 16 plus. Like, I do not want 100% draft Cooper. This is a very flat tier where it's like, if I have him ranked, I want to be mixing them in, basically. I think with Devin Neal, it's still price anchoring. Your running back room seems like a prayer at best. It could be. It could be, friend. I mean, in theory, we're hoping for Pollard, Robinson, and Charbonnet to provide me some weekly points. From there, hoping Garendo and Wright fall into opportunity. You hope Kendre falls into opportunity, right? We're betting against 50-year-old Alvin Kamara. Is it going to work? Maybe not, but I think you also would have said last year my running back room of Chase Brown, Chuba Hubbard, etc. was a prayer. You can't see the team? We'll make a smaller cam. Davis is a good pick because he's like varying his exposures. He's a bad pick because a lot of people know him and will just pick him. But again, that contest doesn't matter. Like, just draft people who you like. I think Miles Sanders, by the way, is a good pick. He could be the starter running back of the Cowboys. Let's get it, Shiv. Wow, we got... Oh, this guy's on auto draft that just took Shadur. We are up. Quarterbacks, I mean, Daniel Jones is like not a terrible pick, but let's do Keaton. We're betting against some old running backs in Alvin and Derrick Henry. So the squad: Lamb, Brown, Hill, Hunter, Hurts, Godwin, Pollard, Robinson, Mooney, Sharps, Shaheed, Kincaid, Garendo, Freiermuth, Henry, Wright, Dart, Slayton, Kendre, Mitchell. Week 17 correlation includes Lamb and Brian Robinson, Hurts, Brown, and Kincaid, Pollard, Shaheed, and Kendre, Wright, Tyreek, and Godwin, and that's it. But that's quite a bit of week 17 correlation we wove in there. For running back being a question, I don't think Pollard, who averaged 13 points, Robinson, who averaged 12, and Charbonnet, who averaged 11, they're not terrible guys to kind of be depending on. Well, Miles Sanders' spike came in week 18, so that's the one thing about it where it's did that spike get him a job? What was that, I have a lot of Dobbins, but he's even him, he's a guy who I wouldn't want everywhere. I do think he's going to sign and go up in price, though. Let's see how the auto-drafted team turned out. So it seems okay to begin, but then his other two quarterbacks are Russ and Shadur, which seems not great. I could have done Rodgers instead. We didn't. I didn't need 8 wide receivers for sure. I think you could argue Shaheed and Slayton are both luxury picks, where maybe those picks could have been a quarterback, maybe those picks could have been a running back, but it's okay. Yeah, that's the thing is taking JK, taking Keenan Allen, taking Cooper, you're either going to feel pretty good about it or pretty terrible pretty soon. Thoughts on Tyreek this season? Huge upside, huge downside. I'm going to be mixing them in. Do you like Ty Johnson for DraftKings? I just don't think his ceiling's that high, Doom. He's okay for Josh Allen stacks because he can catch a pass, but yeah, I don't know. There's, I'd rather take Miles Sanders, who could be Sanders is going to be a 0 more often than Ty Johnson, but there are years where Miles Sanders is the starting running back of the Cowboys, Yeah, Moss is a guy I mix in. My rankings kind of answers questions like this. I'll have a ranking update next year for sure, or next week. And yeah, I don't think I had Miles ranked. I've definitely warmed up to him. I had been mixing him in. I think June 1st is a date we're kind of waiting for. This is a great question. Top 3 flag football receivers. Are we going with their prime? Because in their prime, obviously Tyreek Hill, I think is arguably the 101. And then you in general, flag football is a game of agility and speed. So it's John Ross and Xavier Worthy. These guys might have been really good at flag football. But Calvin Johnson, is there anyone tall enough to even cover him? You can't be that physical in flag football. All right, folks, we're jumping over to Underdog. We need 6 more. Really was just trying to fill this up organically. Oh, God, we need 7 more. Trying to win 2 million again. My wrist has been killing me. I'm not telling you. Am I in the 22nd? I'm in the 32nd. It's the 32nd. Come on, bro. We're not putting AD Mitchell in the flag football Olympics here. I mean, obviously Chase and Jefferson studs. AD Mitchell and Jake Bobo. Okay. So we got a couple people from streaming here. Be sure to like the vid, folks. Be sure to subscribe. Join the Discord, links below. Who's the quarterback of flag football? Lamar's an easy one. Jaden Daniels is an easy one. Honestly, like one of these guys who used to play like college ball, but is just faster than them. I don't know. I think it's hype that flag football is going to be in the Olympics, though. Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., Neighbors, like these guys in flag. The truth is, the guys on the Olympic squad are probably like not even in the NFL yet, you know? Fields, yeah, Fields, Taysom Hill. Brett Favre, my God, we got people asking Brett Favre. Achane RB1, yeah. But I mean, probably, but also like you don't even need a running back, right? Just throw a Worthy at running back. Wandale, yeah, I mean Wandale and Flagman. Is this the guy who does like the water and bananas on his face? Yeah, I don't know the rules. I mean, I quarterbacked my team in college to the championship, and you could like block somewhat. Let's go with the Sun God today. Definitely a brand play for us. You could like block with your hand behind your back, but then you could also like shoulder them. I had mobile shoulders, so I was good at that part. What percent chance would you give yourself to win another major tourney like BBM in your lifetime? You know what's crazy, Scott, is um if Chase Brown does not slide down at the 1 yard line, I would have gotten first or second last year. Because after that they went to overtime, T. Higgins and Burrow went off. Obviously 100% chance we're doing it this year, but I mean it's astronomically low, Scott. Truthfully, just numbers wise. On average, you'll reach the BBM finals if you max once every 10 years. See, I was fast. I think I was like the fastest dude at my college. Borderline 4.4 speed or something. I wasn't heavy. I was like 150 pounds. But I had a torn hip flexor. And so we lost to the rugby team in the championship, which they were doing rugby stuff. Yeah, I think Drake's pretty fun. Why not? Lad's fun too. We'll do Drake this time. Yeah, I mean, Sun God's really just a byproduct of how many good picks there are this year. Borderline 4-4 quarterback drafts the best ball team. New stream title. Great idea. I've been sprinting again. I mean, I'm 32, so the amount of people who sprint after the age of 30 is like very low. But I've been doing that. I've been going to the gym, so I think like me, Pete, Davis, the Swolecast guys, we should all get together for a combine. Do you ever do weekly winners? Not really, Minty. Not a contest I'm too interested in. Yes, it was a small college. Still, I was fast. Josh, I don't know, brother. Probably not. Shut up, Vaughn. I want to be mixing it, but Drake London gets to play the Falcons or the Rams week 17. Yeah, I went to a small college called Bama. If my school had a football team, I would have tried to walk on. That could be me now. I am drastically slower than I used to be. Eliminator's not as popular, but the BBM fills pretty quick. Not really, Bobert. Not that much money at stake in Dynasty. I had one. It folded. I could have been like, who's the lacrosse guy? He was on the Bills, and then he went to the Patriots. I could have been like that guy. White dude. Chris Hogan, I think it was. Boom. Yeah, I do think Dynasty is a love for the game thing. Like, if I had a Dynasty league with, like, all my home league mates growing up, I'd be into it. Hogan, Super Bowl champ. I mean, playing like lacrosse in general, lacrosse is like Dynasty, where it's like that's a love of the game sport because I don't think there's any money in lacrosse, you know? I don't think I have much Adams. Let's get the Falcons Adams stack going. I definitely see the years where Adams smashes. He definitely mistimed it. Yeah, it's a sport where you have to have money to play it. That's fair. Chess is somewhat the same, honestly. Like you could teach yourself chess, but like if you're a really promising young player, you need to have some coaching, which requires money. If you're not up and running on Underdog, I don't know how you found this, but promo code Cheslium. Sure. Lamar running for 5 touchdowns, week 17 in Green Bay and on the frozen tundra, leaping into Lambeau Field. Heard it here first. No, thank you. Although I'd stream with him if you wanted to. Fourth round Lamar, pretty nice, folks. Economics. Do you think this guy snap took Zay Flowers to show that he was angry I took Lamar? Just to be like, for sure you're not going to get Zay in the 5th. Boom. Who is your favorite chess player? I don't know. I mean, I like Fabi. He's chill. I like myself. Um, Tyler 1, definitely not. I mean, Fisher's story is legendary. He went insane, so said some regrettable things there at the end. But yeah, I mean, he had schizophrenia. I don't think it's widely known, but Fisher suffered from that. I think Hans is very entertaining. I probably wouldn't want to hang out with him. Same thing with Hikaru. Hikaru's like pretty fake. He's known to be a-hole growing up. People who don't know chess don't really know that. XQC. My God, dude. Wolfie. Who's the guy who just cheated? Dr. Lubo? He's my fave, dude. Plays like a computer. Magnus is obviously cool. Yeah, there's a lot of chess in jails. Yes, Kramnik is definitely crazy. I can already see how this would go. Gritty would be like, I would try to teach him something, and he'd be like, well, this is what I think. And he would just totally disregard what I said and do what he wants. Yeah, anyone who knows chess, look this up. Eric Hansen, Hikaru Nakamura, full fight. Great video. Great video. Kasparov, good dude. That's the thing about teaching adults things is they don't want to be taught a lot. What's Mr. Cat doing? Snaps off Olave. Let's go Chube. Why not? Anchor Chuba. Yeah, so I used to teach children chess, and I'm going to start doing that again soon. That's why I'm going to night streams. But no, I think it's more just like adults have an ego. Because like I would tell kids things and they would be like, cool, bet. Like this guy knows more than me. And then one year I had an assistant teacher who was like significant. He was weaker than the kids I was teaching. He was not a strong chess player. And I would try to teach him things and he'd be like, yeah, but this is what I think about it. And he was like 10 years older than me. So I think he felt some type of way that I was like the lead teacher. And I was like, brother, I don't care what you think about it. Like this is chess. It's more of an objective game. Like I'm trying to tell you what you're doing is incorrect. So like your feelings on the matter, it's really not that important, you know? And that's a tough message for adults with an ego. So anyways, Addison would have been a good pick here. Let's go Juwan this time. Why not? Well, in some hey, Gritty, he's in the chat. Some adults are humble and don't have an ego about it and can be like, yeah, sure. And other people are not. What's your blitz elo? Depends what site you're talking about. If it's chess.com, fluctuates anywhere from like 2100 to 2200 to 2000. If it's Lee Chess, fluctuates between like 2100 to 2200. I'm here. I'm here if they want to. I'm generally into guys who the market used to have high rankings on and don't. So Olave, Waddle, I want them. I want them both. Mike is the gritty. Mike's the gritty, Ron. Hit him with the gritty. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, fantasy football is a great example as well, right? Like, if you think you're the best in the world and you think, you know, Omari Hampton's the best pick and you keep on taking him in the first round and everyone's like, hey, man, you could get that guy in like the fourth round, but you just think you're the best, like that's probably not going to serve you too well. I mean, I didn't have a good frame when I was in college either. I'm bigger now. Really? I mean, it just takes so much work to do it, Chris. Like, I am an expert in chess, so like I'm roughly like 2000 USCF, roughly 2000 FIDE. I could see myself reaching master if I really want to, which is 2200 USCF. I don't like chess enough, nor am I, and I might not be good enough. That's the other thing is no one really knows if they're good enough until they try. But really, to do that, it's like 8 hours of study a day. Like that's a lot, my friends. That's why in chess you pretty much need to start young if you're gonna hit that. What's your WoW, Elo? I never played WoW. I did play RuneScape though. Yeah, the AlphaGo documentary is a great documentary. If you've not seen it, basically Go was thought to be like a much more complex game than chess that computers would not solve, and like the computer solved it like that. So I think the Chuba pick served us well here. I mean, I'm a Khalil Shakir guy. It's kind of the tail end of a tier. So I don't want to be passing on him. We are, though, because we want the Aaron Jones Amon Ra correlation. Yeah, that would be tough. I mean, I would just never allow a chip in my brain. I don't know about you folks. How worried are you about Mason? I draft Mason a lot. So I think Mason's a good pick too. Aaron Jones is an explosive running back though. So like he, if healthy, is going to get touches and he can take a carry to the house. Best ball is unsolvable. Kitchen solved it. Scott, we already answered this, brother. Thank you, sir. Anyone who says I have a good haircut, we're just going to highlight those comments for a while. Aaron Jones feels a lot better when pretty soon after Swift and Pacheco go. I have a lot of Swift, but it was when he was in the hundreds. There's just, there's still some shoes that could fall for Swift. Travis Etienne could get traded there. Dobbins could sign there. God, man. We're not doing this one, John. I don't think he's overpriced, but I hear it. Wow, Trey Harris, pick 86. See, that's it. Mooney goes pick 83 here. Why not? Amon-Ra, Jones, Hawkinson. Someone would be a good pick. How worried about you about JJ McCarthy? I'm not worried at all. Could be Chubb for sure. Signing with the Bears. I don't know. He looks kind of good. I might start mixing him in. Give me a shot, KOC, man. I'll be your Brock Purdy. I wouldn't want to do this, but good luck. Good comment. Thank you, sir. Are you a golfer? No. I've kind of thought that like once I'm not as mobile anymore, I'll get into golfing later in life. I would like to be. I golfed so good at my friend's wedding one time. We were doing best ball scoring, of course, best ball, but I just was like hitting strokes. Another time I was invited to this really nice golf course with some people from Underdog. And I was like, hey guys, I don't golf. They're like, yeah, it's no problem. We had a caddy and everything. And like I was like topping the ball. Like I couldn't make contact. So I played tennis growing up. So I like, more active sports, but yeah, I kind of wish I golfed as a kid. It's just kind of a hard sport to jump into, Takes a lot of time. Not really a compliment, but okay, we'll take it. I would not say I'm a proper member of high society. Pickleball? I would play some pickleball. Why am I not worried about McCarthy? Former first round pick, year 2. Kevin O'Connell is his head coach who just made Sam Darnold look like God for a while. People are worried about Sam Darnold without it. Was successful in college. So, yeah. Am I drafting Vikings in every draft? No. Am I drafting McCarthy in every draft? No. Am I so worried that I'm not going to draft him? No. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to be worried on everyone? You're like, oh, no, this guy could fail me. This guy could. Newsflash, players can fail, Can't be worried about everyone. Fields and Lamar, somewhat of a fun combo. Let's just rip Bateman and figure it out later. Get our Lamar stack. Yeah, McCarthy got all the weapons. I believe this strongly that the Sam Darnold drafters got very lucky. And am I going blind? I just didn't see Mason was still on the board. I don't know what does this mean at all. I don't know what this is all gibberish to me. All right, what's my team need? Could use a running back. Could use a wideout. Quarterback is a possibility. Yeah, he's a guy I like only take if I have Lamar pretty much. Okay, Sharps goes. Let's take Shaheed then. Tail end of a tier. Prefer him to Najee. I like Shaheed a lot. Just a good bet for some big weeks. He was like wide receiver 8 or something before he got hurt. So we got some week 17 correlation with Amon-Ra, Aaron Jones, and Hawk. We got London and Devontae. We got Lamar to Bateman, which I personally count even without a bring back, just like, hey, the Ravens score points. Yeah, Hopkins fine with Love stacks too. I mean, if you personally, I mean, he got hurt last year mid-year, so his year wasn't like awful. It wasn't good, but 600 yards, 5 touchdowns, like if he did that again, that's a worthy pick. There is worry he does much worse, but he could do better than that too, you know? No, I don't think it's bad to stack players from the same team. I mean, if Hopkins was tight end eligible, yeah, people would be into it. So Goff goes to a Laporta drafter. Jefferson drafters here. Addison drafters here. This guy also has Brian Thomas, though. So the question is, like, would he go Trevor? I would go Trevor in his shoes. Or would he go McCarthy? Well, Trevor goes. I'm going to just take Ramondre. I'm not stressed about my QB2. We got other options. We got Penix. We got Stafford. Shuck. Ramondre could be a really solid value. Someone sent me a horse head. Just a severed horse head to my front steps. So didn't know how to take that, but what are your thoughts on the Titans? It all comes down to Cam Ward. If the Cam Ward is good, you know, a la Jaden Daniels, they're gonna be exciting. If he's not, it's gonna be a disaster. Yes, it was a Shetland pony's severed head. McCarthy goes, that's fine. Dude, mega reaches on Palmer, also fine. Kraft goes, who I would have stacked. I mean, it's weird that guy took Josh Palmer straight up over Kincaid. We're going to grab Kincaid as our second tight end. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You have Josh. You prefer Josh Palmer to Kincaid to stack with, Josh? Not for me, but I guess he's just worried about his wide receivers. I mean, Hampton. If you're asking me to ignore cost, Tootin's pretty interesting. I don't think I have a lot of him yet. What do we think, folks? Is this a $2 million squad? I did pass on Shakir, so Kincaid is some leverage off of that pick. If I didn't take Kincaid, I was probably going to take Tajay Spears. Well, this is BBM 6, brother. So we're not betting BBM 5. I would have taken Kraft over Kincaid, both because I have him ranked a little bit ahead and for the Packers bring back with Lamar. I don't think Lamar necessarily needs a bring back, but there are some guys. So he's got unstacked Mahomes, stacked Baker, Trevor with Tootin. Interesting. Bobert, I just entertained you for an hour and a half. You need to send me 1 cent. Lupu Dupu. What a fun name. Jalen Noel. I can't quite get there. He's probably a guy who goes like in the 200s on DraftKings. Okay, Penix. Let's see. Week 7 by week 5 sorts out. Yeah, see, an amateur would have brought this question up before it was my turn. But yeah, I mean, okay, so he had a small sample. He looked good in the small sample. Falcons got 5 primetime games. I like Drake London. So yeah, when I have Mooney or London, I'm a Penix believer. It is a tough call between like him and Tua sometimes. Tua's like a little bit more of a known commodity. So gonna stop at 2 quarterbacks, probably stopping at 2 tight ends. Don't really need that many wide receivers, so we can take a lot of running back darts later here. Might take Likely as well if Likely wraps around. Could take him as a 3rd tight end, little luxury pick. I'm not gonna say this. Okay, both my week 17 stacks go. Maybe this guy didn't like me commenting how he should have gone Kincaid. So he goes, I'll take 2 players who make sense for your team. So be it. I mean, the Carolina guys make sense with me having this Chuba bet, but I like Tillman. We'll take Tillman and be done at wideout. Gonna build the old 2-7-7-2. Maybe. I mean, maybe. Maybe I'll tack on another wide receiver. Depends who wraps. Tua playing in Miami is nice. That is nice. So we didn't get any Packers correlation. That's okay. It's easy to see iterations where Lamar, first off, you got to get to week 17, but Lamar rushes for like 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then like Dobbs catches a touchdown, Kraft catches a touchdown, Golden catches like it's just spread out enough. I wouldn't say he looks like a good week 17 wide receiver. He looks more like an okay click because he's low owned. If correlated, it's not even guaranteed he's ahead of Malik Washington. But yeah, Hill gets traded or something. I've drafted him somewhat, but I don't know what a good week 17 wide receiver is. I get maybe you meant like a good correlated stack piece, in which case I hear you there. Man, my wrist is killing me. Eckler was tempting. Again, I don't know for sure the Commanders are done at running back. Like, why wouldn't they sign J.K. Dobbins? They should. It's free on my site, JB. So you should just sign up, pull this bad boy up, go ahead and here it is. Make this your phone background, delete the picture of your family. They'll understand. So Thielen and Leggett were like two of the only guys I would have taken at wide receiver. I'm not doing it for Keenan. Not that Keenan can't be a good pick. I just don't feel like it. Jalen Wright goes. It's a shame that I used to be able to get him for always for free. I was like 20 spots above market. Sure. I guess we're doing the J.K. Dobbins thing. Actually, no. Let's do Justice Hill. Why not? The ADPs are irrelevant to me. It's late in the draft. I'm going to take 4 scratch-off picks at running back. Again, I talked about this last night, but like the Mike Clay projections, I would not be using as gospel. He is not making those for people to draft off in May. Still mixing in Keaton Mitchell. I think I literally took him in the draft before this, so yes. Mitchell's a little bit more negatively correlated with Hill. Thanks for the super chat, Mikola. Rate your first 11 picks. Gibbs, Achane, love the duo. Rasheed, Daniels, nice. J-Mo, Godwin, Debo, Jonnu, Goff, Charbonnet, Bateman. So you got the Goff double. Seems good. I like it. Godwin, Debo, we got some questions there. Debo is stacked. I would rate it thumbs up. Just because we can't do J.K. Dobbins every single time, we're going to grab Lloyd for that week 17 correlation. I even think Justice Hill can be taken with Keaton Mitchell. So yeah, I would rate this good. You got the running back core, and you stopped, other than a mid-round Charbonnet. You got an elite quarterback in Jaden Daniels stacked up. You got Goff double stack. So, some would say you don't need to take Goff when you have Jaden. I think it's fine. You got 5 wide receivers who could be good. I like Jonnu a lot. So, yeah, I think it's a good team. Well, they're baseline projections, but he's just not as plugged into news right now. Right? He didn't know Rashee Rice is probably not getting suspended. That took some discourse on Twitter. And he was like, "Oh, sounds good." So that's just an example. Someone like myself is probably more plugged in at this time of the year than Mike Clay. You're kind of just throwing things at the wall. Late round Commanders. I mean, Noah Brown's there. He's had some weeks. Maybe year 2 Luke McCaffrey. Maybe year 2 Ben Sinnott. I don't know. Probably a team we're waiting for August news on. The Keenan Dobbins double tap. I don't even think this team needs to go 2 more running backs, but I might still do it just because I just feel fine at wide receiver, right? Amon-Ra, London, Adams, in theory, these guys should be hitting my lineup a lot. Jennings, Bateman, Shaheed, I like these guys' chances to hit my lineup quite a bit. Tillman, I like him as a late round dart. Hawkinson and Kincaid, yeah, I don't think I need the 3rd tight end. I don't need the 3rd quarterback. So why not just take 2 stabs at running back? Yeah, whoever's their RB3 is a little intriguing too. We're locked. We're locked, my friend. Let's do it. Keaton, Justice, I don't care. Anyone but Derrick Henry's open somewhere down there. Justice Hill throws a touchdown pass to Keaton Mitchell on a Lamar Jackson lateral. You heard it here first. Justice Hill, 2 touchdowns. Keaton Mitchell, 2 touchdowns all week 17. Marshawn Lloyd, 3 touchdowns. Yes, I will be maxing the drafters main. Gonna have their ranks up by next week. Bitcoin and best ball, babe. I took away their bedhead clowns. Ford, brand guy, no correlation. Moss, no correlation. Kendre, minor correlation. Miles Sanders. Let's just do Ford. Why not? So, Lamar and Michael Penix, Chuba, Aaron Jones, Ramondre, Justice Hill, Marshawn Lloyd, Keaton Mitchell, Jerome Ford. What I could say about this group is they'll all be on NFL rosters, I think. Unless Keaton gets cut. Amon-Ra, London, Devontae, Jennings, Bateman, Shaheed, Tillman. It's a little thin if an injury happens, but otherwise I like it. Hawkinson and Kincaid. Perfectly crime in the tight end duo. Got some week 17 correlation. Lamar, Justice, Keaton, Lloyd, Bate, Amon-Ra, Hawk, Jones. That's London, Adams, London and Adams. All right, folks. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekends. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe. Leave a comment when I end the stream. All that engagement helps out. If you're feeling generous, join my Discord. Link is below. Check out beatbestball.com for rankings and more. Peace out.